Goodness, so we're going to take a look at Robert Reich almost getting one right. It is pretty amazing. Here he comes talking about corporate donations.
Here's a barefaced lie. Corporate political donations are free speech. Rubbish.
I agree with Robert Reich on this. I agree. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. We're going to get deeper into this video and you're going to see where he almost gets it right, but kind of misses the mark. But yes, I do not believe that corporations donating money to political causes is free speech, because only individuals have speech, and corporations aren't individuals. Corporations are entities. Corporations are piles of paper. They can't have rights. Only people have rights. So the idea that a corporation can just buy ad space and that's exercising free speech is to me completely untrue. So Robert Reich is getting really close to getting one right. He'll screw it up in a little bit, but he's close.
That's not free speech, that's bribery. In 1971,
That's right.
Lewis Powell urged the leaders of American corporations to devote a portion of their profits to politics. Since then, America has witnessed the largest and most entrenched system of legalized bribery in its history.
Now, one interesting thing here to bear in mind, and this is something that I talk about a lot, is that politicians don't have to take money, and you can vote for people who don't. There's probably a Libertarian or a Green Party member or somebody like that who's not a member of the two predominant political parties in this country who is running in your area and isn't getting any corporate donations. You can vote for people who don't do that. Voters keep saying that they don't want money in politics, and then they keep voting for the people who raise the most money. So it's like telling McDonald's, I want you to serve salads, which they did for a while. Then nobody bought the salads. So McDonald's was like, you're lying to us, so we're not going to serve salads anymore. It's the same thing with money in politics. You have to punish the people who are taking the money and reward the people who aren't. And if you don't do that, you're going to keep having a ton of money in politics because you're rewarding the behavior. You don't get to say that you want X. You actually have to behave in a manner that confirms that in order to make real change.
Corporations and the super wealthy have rigged the free market for their own benefit. Throughout the 1980s, corporate PAC spending on congressional races increased nearly 5-fold. Labor union PAC spending rose only about half as fast.
Okay, so here's where we're starting to have a problem, right? First, he's dividing the political money into two separate piles, right? So he's not saying he hates money in politics. He's saying that he doesn't like that these people are spending more than these people. Unions aren't individuals either. Unions are entities. So if you're going to say that a corporation doesn't have the right to free speech because it's not an individual, which is accurate, unions as a whole, as a group, also shouldn't have access to, like, their money that they spend is also not free speech. Individual union members and individual employees go spend, go crazy. Maybe we set limits on how much a person can spend or how much an individual can give, which kind of already exists. But corporations, unions, any organized entity that is essentially just a stack of paper that gives them a particular legal status isn't an individual and therefore can't have individual rights like free speech.
By the 2016 campaign cycle, corporations and Wall Street contributed $34 for every $1 contributed by labor unions and all public interest organizations combined.
So he's more angry. He's not angry about the money. This is an important point. He's not necessarily angry about the money. He's angry about where the money's coming from. He's not saying individuals. He's saying these entities are giving more than these entities, and I don't like that. You want money out of politics, you can't pick and choose. You can't say labor unions and NGOs and these other organizations can give money and corporations can't. You're not allowed to do that. You have to say no entity has a right to free speech, and therefore only individual donations are protected under free speech.
In 1980, the richest 1/100% of Americans provided 10% of all donations to federal elections. By 2012, they provided 40%.
Now, I will say this, when he's talking about wealthy individuals, there should certainly be a cap, I think, on how much, and I think that exists, on how much an individual person is able to give. No, Elon Musk shouldn't be able to use a PAC to buy a bunch of airtime, because a PAC is an organization. It's a legal entity. It's not an individual person with freedom of speech rights. We use PACs. PACs exist because there's a cap on what individuals can give. You want to flush money out of politics, that's all you have to do. So the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are it's just a terrible ruling. But it's not like that. What I like about this video is that he is talking historically, like before Citizens United and all that stuff. This was already a problem. It's not a new problem. It's gotten worse since Citizens United, but it was a problem before that. This political donation problem.
Both political parties have become giant fundraising machines, fueled by money from the top.
I will also give him credit for pointing out that this is a problem amongst both political parties. A lot of Democrats will talk about Republican money. You heard it in the last campaign. Oh, Trump raised this, Elon spent that. It's like, yeah, but Kamala Harris had way more money. So I appreciate that he is at least saying this is a problem amongst both political parties. So this is one of his better myths. He still gets a couple of things wrong, but this is definitely one of his better myths.
The result of all this bribery? Politicians use the money to get elected and re-elected, and then lawmakers do what corporations and wealthy individuals want. It's legalized bribery.
I want to make a quick point here on this one as we wrap up, and that is that one of the things that we hear about a lot is that corporations are trying to deregulate the economy and do all these different things. And if politicians work for corporations and corporations hate regulations, why is the regulatory environment worse now than it was 50, 60 years ago? Just keep this in the back of your mind. And if you like my content, by the way, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000, man. That's a grind. That's the first grind. So help me out. But if corporations hate regulation so much and they're working for people who are donating money to them, then why is it that the regulatory environment keeps growing as fundraising keeps going? Just kind of one of those the more you know kind of things to think about. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said, hit the like and subscribe button. Check out some of my prior videos on Robert Reich. I'm doing a bit of a series on his 10 myths. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you guys next time.